Good morning. Welcome to the EASTBAY Church of Religious Science. My name is Kuwaza Imara. I will be your pulpit assistant for this morning. At this time, I would like to welcome our music ministry for today, NuDay. NuDay.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Fresh anointings are flowing my way. It's a season of power and prosperity. Oh, it's a new season, and it's coming to me.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Fresh anointings are flowing my way. It's a season of power and prosperity. It's a new season, and it's coming to me.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Fresh anointing are flowing my way. It's a season of power and prosperity. It's a new season, and it's coming to me.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Fresh anointing is flowing my way. It's a season of power and prosperity. Yes. It's a new season.
It's a season of power and prosperity. It's a new season. It's a new season. It's a new season, and it's coming to me.
So right here, right now, in this moment, knowing that as we declare it's a new season, a new time, we know and understand that there is only that one power and presence, which is forever expressing itself in us, through us. It's around us, and it's there for us. So I'm knowing that today, as we listen in on live stream, as we just know the truth is that this one power, this one presence is there for us. And it's there for us to call on. It's our strength. So today is a blessed day, and we have just but to be open to receive the blessings of this day. I'm knowing that whether we're at home, whether we're sharing time with loved ones, wherever we are receiving the blessings of the divine. So I give thanks. I give thanks and praise to the one for all the goodness that we are experiencing today, for all the goodness that flows into our life, for all that we are, for all that we have. And in this attitude of gratitude, I simply just release this, my word, to the activity of the law. I'm letting go. I'm letting God handle it. I know that it's all done well and good. And I ask you to anchor this for all time with me by saying, Ashe.
Ashe.
Amen.
Amen.
And so it is.
It's a new season. It's a new day. Fresh anointing are flowing my way. It's a season of power and prosperity. It's a new season. It's a new season. It's a new season, and it's coming to me.
Thank you, NuDay. Thank you for that musical inspiration. Again, I would like to welcome you to the service for the EASTBAY Church of Religious Science. At this time, I would just like to invite you to repeat our affirmation for today. It's titled, God is the only power in my life. As we say this, it's just a reminder to acknowledge that in those times when we're feeling stressed, when we're feeling that we need something to hold on to lift us up, there is that power available. God is the only power in my life. Nothing from without can touch the perfect life of God within me. No past experience has power over me. I am a perfect child of God, and nothing that anyone has ever done or said can interfere with my divine inheritance. The power of God is greater than any circumstance in my life. The strength of God is mine to use. Turning away from all feelings of inadequacy, I discover that all that I need is within me right now. As I forgive the past, I find that I have nothing to atone for and nothing to run away from. Casting off the old me, I discover my true self. I take dominion in my life. Old habits have no power over me. Conditions have no power over me. Personalities have no power over me. I take dominion. I am whole. I am free. I am complete, now and forevermore. And so it is. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We have a rich, full service this morning. Our speaker will be Reverend James Jeffley. He is an ordained minister through the Universal Life Church. He is also founder of the Church of Higher Consciousness. Their mission is to help people dream bigger, work smarter, love deeper, and do better in every part of their life through the elevation of their consciousness. He is a professional trainer and coach. He is also a musician. We will be hearing inspiration from Reverend James Jeffley. However, first, we will hear some more music from NuDay.
Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everyone must change. No one stays the same. The young become the old. Mysteries to unfold. But that's the way of time. Nothing changed. There are not many things in life you can be sure of,
except rain comes from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Winter turns to spring. A wounded heart will heal, but never much too soon. Yes, everything must change.
There are not many things in life you can be sure of. Ooh. Except rain comes from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Raindrops from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Raindrops from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Raindrops from the clouds and sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same.
Everything must change.
Nothing stays the same.
Good morning, East Bay. My name is Reverend James Jeffley, aka Reverend Up. And if we were here together in person, I would invite you at this time to look at the person next to you, turn and face them, make eye contact, and say to this person with power, clarity, and conviction, "Up yours." After about 5 or 6 weeks of shelter in place at home, you're probably ready to say that to some people right now. So say that to some folks next to you at home. Please understand, I don't mean up yours as an insult. I mean up yours as an invitation. It's an invitation to raise every part of our lives up to a higher level of peace, a higher level of joy, a higher level of satisfaction, a higher level of consciousness. And if we're going to get through this thing called COVID, we need to up ours. I'd like to say thank you to Arlene, to the ministers, to Lynn, to the board for their invitation to me to come and speak before you again. So thank you. I'd also like to give a special shout out to Vanessa Wynn and NuDay for the great music. Vanessa, thank you. NuDay, thank you as always. And I want to give more than thanks, more than a shout out. I want to express my profound gratitude to all of the doctors and nurses and healthcare workers and support staff that are out there on the front lines right now trying to take care of us and heal us and keep us from getting sick. So to all of you, whether you're involved in direct patient care or you play a supporting role, thank you, thank you, thank you. May you have the strength to continue on in your sacred service. I also want to express gratitude to all of the essential workers who are keeping the lights on and the water running and the gas flowing and the food growing, the internet humming, all of the products shipping, the delivery drivers, the gig workers, all the folks who are making it possible for us to live and function, such as we are, in these days of COVID. So thank you. My topic for today is now what? Back in 2014, I started my journey 2013, I started my journey in Toastmasters. And I got to the district level competition, and I was participating in the Table Topics event. It's impromptu speaking. They give you a word or a topic and you have to speak for 2 minutes. And the topic was, now what? And I didn't hear what the person said. I said, what's the topic? Now what? And then I just started laughing. Now what? And I won't give you the whole speech, but the gist of it was, we have always encountered a now what moment in our lives, right? From the time we were little to where we are now. And we didn't always know how we were going to solve that. We didn't always know what came next. But we've always figured out, now what? Maybe we had to be more creative. Maybe we had to do something different, something we hadn't done before. Maybe we had to ask for help. Maybe we had to just take a moment and stop and be still and call for guidance from wherever we may get guidance. And then when we have that moment of inspiration, we step in the direction of that guidance. We didn't know if it was going to work out or not. There was no certainty, but we knew where we were wasn't sustainable. You couldn't stay there anymore. You had to take action. So we did. And maybe it worked out, maybe it didn't. But the point is, we've always figured out, now what? COVID-19 has presented virtually all of us with the latest version of now what? Schools closed. Many businesses closed. Now what? Kids at home, parents realizing just how hard a teacher's job really is. Thank you, teachers. Having to rely on technology like webcams and Zoom and Skype and the internet more than we ever have for meetings. Finally having to clean some space behind us in our home so we wouldn't be embarrassed when we turn the camera on. We've had our fair share of now what moments. Job closed down. Money's running low. Now what? Worrying about health. Am I going to catch the virus? Paying the bills. When will we return to normal? When can I go out and meet my friends again? Go to the movies, a concert, take a walk. When can I go out without feeling like my next breath may be sealing my fate? Now what? I'm reminded of something that Charles Darwin, who's often credited with being the originator of the theory of evolution, and he's often quoted as saying, "It is not the strongest that survive. It is not the strongest that survive, nor the smartest that survive, but rather the ones most adaptable to change." We're not going to compete our way through this. No, no, no. This is not the time for competition. This is the time for cooperation. This is the time for collaboration. If everybody helps in this process, then everybody wins. And we win by getting better. We win by not getting sick. We win by staying alive. So now what? Well, as Darwin suggested, we adapt. Have you ever watched, I know many of us are probably binge watching shows on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon or whatever service you have. Have you ever watched those disaster movies? I was tuning into Netflix a couple weeks ago, and the first two movies that came up were 2012, the apocalyptic disaster movie, and Outbreak. And at that moment I just said, okay, I need to turn this off and go to bed. This is not helpful. But in most of those movies, they have what's called an ELE, an extinction level event. That means something horrific is going to happen. An asteroid is going to come smashing onto the planet and we're all going to die. An extinction level event. Now, I don't think that COVID-19 is an extinction level event. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor. I just trust my intuition. I don't think it's an extinction level event. I do think, however, it is an ELE, an evolutionary level event. I believe that what we are witnessing right now, what we are experiencing right now, what we are in the womb of right now is socioeconomic biological evolution. Stay with me. Yes, there are some people who will die. There are people who have died. Almost 3 million people have been confirmed to have COVID-19 as of this recording. A little over 195,000 people have died, and almost 800,000 people have recovered. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't know why those people have recovered. That's just what the statistic is. But maybe somewhere in their recovery, something is happening between their care, between their immune systems. Maybe something is happening to allow them to figure out, their bodies to figure out how to deal with this virus such that they can live. I don't know if we're developing new antibodies. I don't know if the immune system is kicking into a higher level. I don't know. I just know that the disease doesn't kill everyone. And within that, for me, there's a sign of hope. So maybe we are evolving biologically to handle this new threat. I don't know. It's a possibility. I think society is evolving. I think our economics are evolving. There were a number of businesses that would not let people work from home for whatever reasons. Now they're finding out that's the only way for their business to survive. So they've had to adapt. So now you got people working at home, still teaching, still having meetings, still coordinating things, still doing sales, right? They're just doing it through the camera, through the internet. Many countries are adapting. They are stepping up to help citizens keep their jobs or their health insurance or pay most of, if not all of their salaries. We are seeing many communities around the country, around the world that are embracing shelter in place and social distancing, wearing masks and gloves. That's why I'm speaking to you right now from my home and not the church. Because if any of you have been following me on social media, especially Facebook, I got my little social justice warrior keyboard out, and I've been railing against people showing up at church services or big public gatherings because we don't know who's the carrier. We are asymptomatic. And so while we are asymptomatic, we could be carrying it and spreading it to other people. Just because you don't have it doesn't mean, with symptoms, doesn't mean you're not going to give it to someone else. And then the symptoms will manifest later. Well, There's a lot of folks out there who've fallen into this trap of manufactured outrage, and you hear them saying, well, my First Amendment rights, I have the right to assemble, I have the right to go to church. Yeah, but you don't have the right to endanger me or anybody else. Listen to me. If the God that you pray to is omniscient, is omnipresent, then wherever you are, God is. You don't need to travel to get to God. Go within. You don't need a physical building in which to pray. Pray where you are. God doesn't need other people to see you praying in order to hear you. Stay home. I was reading in the Sacramento Bee where a couple weeks ago, 30% of the new coronavirus cases in Sacramento County were directly linked to church services. I'm not anti-church, don't get me wrong. I'm anti-endangering the lives and safety of other people. Stay home. If you need justification, it's biblical. Look it up. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 20. Go, my people, enter your rooms and shut the doors behind you. Hide yourselves for a time, until the wrath has passed. Stay home. Again, I think COVID-19 is an evolutionary level event. And I want to look through that lens with you for just a few moments and offer you a different take on COVID. Let me give you a disclaimer. Yes, it has been brutal. It has been deadly for thousands of people. It has literally affected almost everyone on the planet in some way. So I don't mean to minimize its effects at all. And my sincere condolences to anyone who has lost their lives, the families who have been impacted by this virus. I'm just offering you a different perspective right now. I think many of us on the planet, and especially those of us here in the United States, have been largely immune from suffering. Yeah, we got suffering. We got crime and poverty and homelessness and injustice. Yeah, we got our share. But our military, our economy, our geography, our allies have inoculated us from widespread, deep suffering. Again, yes, we have suffering, but not like the suffering that a Palestinian experiences when they wake up every day, or a Syrian, or any other marginalized group that has to worry about if they're going to lose their life from moment to moment. We haven't experienced suffering like that. And I apologize if I missed your particular marginalized group. I got a limited amount of time here. So now what? Here comes COVID-19, and it's got suffering for everybody. It has 0 F's to give. Did he just say F's? Yes, I did. COVID-19 has 0 feelings to give. It doesn't care about your age. It doesn't care about your gender, your skin color. It doesn't care about your religion, your politics, your ideology, your theology, how much money you got in the bank, how healthy you are. It comes for everybody. And maybe for the first time in our lives, we now have truly global suffering for which there is currently no immunity. We are all sharing in the pain. And that's why, for me, I think of it as an evolutionary level event. Because just as we are all participating in the pain and the suffering together, we can all participate in evolving together. Now, I know in order to evolve, we got to be willing to do some different things. We got to be willing to step outside of our comfort zones. We got to be willing to think at a higher level and act and behave and believe at a higher level. And I know that some of us are not going to make it. As humorist Will Rogers once said, there are 3 kinds of people. They're the ones that learn by reading, they're the ones that learn by observing, and the rest of them just have to pee on the electric fence for themselves. And there are a lot of folks out there right now trying to pee on the proverbial metaphorical electric fence. You've got states right now who are just pining to open up. Some already did yesterday, right? Because we've just got to go to the beach. We got to get our massage. We've got to get our tattoos. We got to go to the movie theaters. Really? You would risk your life for that? Some of y'all gonna learn today. COVID don't play that. Rather than demonize COVID as a curse, what if, stay with me, what if it's really a blessing in disguise? Think about this. What if we viewed COVID as an environmentalist? We've already seen wildlife come back to areas previously overrun by humans. You got buffalo and Catalina Island coming down out of the mountains to hang out on the beach because there are no humans there. You got dolphins swimming in the canals in Italy. The skies are now clear over Los Angeles. Now what? We have to keep it that way. We got to figure out how to evolve so that we stay and maintain a balance with nature, not overrun nature. COVID, the environmentalist. What if we view COVID as a teacher? It's already taught businesses that if you want to survive, you have to adapt. You got to do online, you got to do delivery models. It's taught people that if you want to continue working, you got to figure out how to work from home. Well, I'm not into technology. You are now. You got the camera, you got your phone, you got the Zoom going on, you got the Skype going on, whatever you got to do to make it work. The online learning going on. My son's school shut down in March. In March. Okay, what are you going to do? Oh, we're still having class. We're just do it from home. Give us a minute to work out the technology. We'll send you an email and tell you where and when to log in. That next week, boom, the kids were online. And they were thriving. They were doing great. He will finish his year, and by the way, he will graduate May 8th. That's been a long road, but that's a whole nother sermon. COVID has taught us to embrace the change and learn how to adapt through the difficulty. It's made parents more involved with educating their kids, or schools adapt to, as I said, online learning. So now what? Maybe we need to keep some of this. Maybe we need to rethink the nature of work. Maybe we don't need to get in a car and commute for 30 minutes to an hour or more every day. Maybe home is a viable alternative. How do we know that? Because we're doing it. What if we view COVID as a spotlight? At no time in my recollection has there been a greater spotlight shone on the shocking inequality of wealth in this country and the world. COVID has brilliantly illustrated capitalism's insidious linkage of money to survival. What many are discovering right now, thanks to COVID, is that money is required for most of the basics of our survival. Food, water, clothing, shelter, energy, transportation, healthcare, etc. If you don't make money, you literally can't afford to live. That's how it's set up. And that fear of running out of money, the fear of not being able to afford your existence is as great, if not greater, than the fear of actually catching COVID for many people. Because now COVID has shown the bright light of truth on work and allowed us to see which jobs are really essential and which jobs are non-essential. If a job is non-essential, for whose benefit does it exist? Now what? We have to work to change this, to break the linkage between earning a living, meaning earning the right to live. What if COVID is a catalyst? Think about this. What if Rosa Parks didn't give up her seat? What if she didn't refuse to give up her seat on that bus in December of 1955? What if King didn't march on Washington and give his famous I Have a Dream speech or work tirelessly for civil rights for all people? What if we didn't have a global pandemic right now that equalized suffering for almost everyone? What if now is our time, our chance to build a new world? A world that, as we like to say around here, that works for everyone. Now what? Now is our time to change. We cannot endure this level of disruption, this level of suffering, this level of death, only to go back to the way it was. If we do not learn the lessons COVID is trying to teach us, if we do not come out of this smarter and healthier and kinder, if we do not evolve, we will be doomed to repeating the mistakes of the past, and we will have lost a great opportunity to move forward. We can't go back, ladies and gentlemen. In 1519, Hernán Cortés, during the Spanish conquest of Mexico, ordered his men, after they offloaded all of their supplies and equipment from their boats, he ordered them to burn their ships. ¿Qué dijiste? Quemar los barcos. My apologies if I messed up that pronunciation. Burn the ships. They would either have to conquer Mexico or die trying. There would be no going back. Their commitment was total. Now, I'm not an advocate of conquest. I just appreciate the fact that they were all in. Ernest Holmes said in The Science of Mind back in 1938, evolution carries forward, not backward. And that's where we need to go. We need to burn the ship of systematized inequality. We need to burn the ship of systematized poverty. We need to burn the ship of systematized greed and corruption. We need to burn the ships of systematized inhumanity, violence, bigotry, misogyny, hatred, and environmental destruction. They've all got to go. I had a weird thought the other day. What if COVID showed up during slavery? And slaves couldn't work because it killed slaves and masters alike. Can you imagine some slaves sitting around wishing for a cure just so they could get back to being slaves? Lord, I hope this master figure out a way to make us all better so we can get back in the field. Can you honestly imagine some slaves having that conversation? Yeah, because for some of them, for all of them, that was the only thing that they knew. Better to go with the devil you know than the devil you don't, right? I can imagine that conversation happening right now because there are people right now wanting to return to work in spite of the deadly nature of this highly contagious virus, wanting to go back to the old normal. It saddens me to see people chomping at the bit who just don't get it. They're chomping at the bit to open the country, open our state. That's how insidious capitalism is. It will force you to risk dying from a virus just to have money so you don't actually die from not having money. It is literally your money or your life. That is the world we have made. And that is the world we cannot go back to. So let me propose, in my time left, some possible solutions. In the short term, I declare that we need a moratorium on rent, mortgage, credit card, loan, and utility payments, including internet and cell phones, for the next 2 to 3 months or until we flatten this COVID curve and or find a treatment. No interest, no penalties, no back payments, no repayments, just a pause on paying debt for the essential costs of living. We need a new stimulus bill with no payments to big corporations and oversight by a non-political entity. This stimulus would be like what's already being done in other countries around the world right now. Did you know that in the United Kingdom, they're paying up to 80% of its citizens' salaries for the next 3 months? Spain is paying all of their affected workers their full salary during the lockdown. They are banning outright dismissals. You can't fire people. And they are giving an allowance for temporary workers and household employees. That's what they're doing in Spain. France is providing up to 84% of employees' net salaries and 100% for minimum wage workers. Canada is paying $2,000 a month for up to 4 months. Norway is paying full wages for employees on temporary layoff. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., 26 million people have filed for unemployment. As many as 20 million of those could lose their health coverage because in this country, we tie health coverage in many cases to having a job. You don't have a job, you don't have health coverage. During a global pandemic, many people will get a one-time payment of $600 or $1,200, and we have a president who recommends taking lethal, potentially lethal, untested drugs. And just the other day suggesting, well, what if, look at disinfectants, maybe injecting that, bleach. Do not do that. Do not take bleach. Do not try and inject or ingest or inhale or imbibe any kind of cleaning products or disinfectants. You will get sick. You may die, as other people have already done so. Longer term, healthcare is a right, not a profit center. It shouldn't be tied to employment. We should have universal healthcare here. We're the only major industrialized nation in the world that doesn't have it. And it should be for all Americans, regardless of income, employment status, or immigration status. And we need workplace health protections in all sectors, not just during a pandemic. We need guaranteed minimum income for all citizens. We need guaranteed paid sick, maternity, paternity, elder care, etc. leave. We're the only major nation in the world that does not offer guaranteed paid time off. It's late in the day. We need guaranteed housing. We have enough empty buildings right now in this country to house every homeless person several times over. We could end homelessness in the next 30 days if we wanted to. The only thing stopping us is courage and greed. And we need new leaders. Maya Angelou once said, when people show you who they are, believe them. The current leadership in our country has shown us who they are, from politicians to business leaders to community leaders. Some of them have stepped up. They've answered the call with thoughtful, compassionate solutions. Others have simply doubled down on greed, recklessness, ignorance, and inhumanity. This cannot continue. Register to vote. Get involved in your communities. Run for office. Support people and businesses that support life, that support humanity, that support compassion, that support the planet, because we cannot go back. What about the now term? For the now term, what can you do right now? Stay home. Limit your outside activities to the essentials. Or safe outings, out maybe getting exercise in a park somewhere away from other people. Wear your masks, wear your gloves, practice good social distancing if you happen to be out around other people. Sanitize things when you get home. Wash your hands a lot with soap for longer than you normally do. Follow the guidelines of the CDC and licensed healthcare professionals. Support local businesses. You can do that right now. Look at the link on your screen. You can make a donation to support this spiritual community as they do the good work to help support the community mentally, physically, spiritually. So now what, ladies and gentlemen? For now, we stay safe. For now, from where we are with what we have, we get involved. Now we act. Now we move forward, not backward. Now we adapt. We evolve, because there is no going back. COVID has given us an opportunity to move forward in a bold way. We must change, and the time for change is now. Up yours.
It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it. It's time to
to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it. What is this world coming to? It seems like everybody's searching for the truth. We've got to stand for what is right and walk into the light. We're God's people, we can do it if we try. Yeah.
We can do it. Somebody asked me, why do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. We're living day by day, and I know without a doubt, gotta work it out. Oh,
It's time to make a change. We are the people, we can do it. It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it.
Together we can walk hand in hand, spreading the word all across the land. Instead of wasting our time, we gotta make up our mind. We're God's people, we can do it if we try.
I know we can do it. Somebody asked me, why do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. We're living day by day, and I know without a doubt that God has worked it out.
It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it.
Oh yeah.
It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it.
It's time to make that change. People of the world, we are one flame.
We all
Ups and downs, let's stick together on common ground.
what we need.
A little bit of love, it comes from within, one mind, one love.
Take it from me, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying. It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it. It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. Yeah, yeah. I know we can do it. Yeah.
we can do it.
We're God's people, we can do it if we try.
People say.
So in this time right here, right now, in this moment, we have been inspired to elevate our awareness, our consciousness, to move from the space where we are, to move out of concern and fear, to allow ourselves to be elevated and move into that space of healing. So right here, right now, I'm knowing that that one presence, that one infinite intelligence, that one divine expression that expresses uniquely through each and every one of us is having its way. And we are inspired, we are welcome, we are invited to allow that expression in our lives. For those of us who are experiencing full health and wellness, to express that, to show that, to model that, to be that for others. For those of us who are experiencing less than full health, know that the truth is you are being healed, that there is that healing that is taking place in your lives. And for those who are transitioning or who have transitioned, we know the truth is that they are now in that next step. evolving to that next step in their infinite, eternal life. So right here, right now, I'm speaking my word for all those persons, whether they are experiencing full health, whether they are just needing to hear that voice, that concern from a loved one, from that friend. Yes, I know that you are isolated, but I am thinking about you. You are in my heart. And here there is that healing. I'm speaking my word for those who are feeling that there is just pressure economically. The truth is there is no pressure. The truth is there is relief. The truth is that there is that assistance that is happening in your life. I'm speaking my word for those who are the front line, the nurses, the doctors, the nurses' aides, those who deliver essential services, the repair person, the person who does the utilities, the person who keeps the lights on. There is that prayer of recognition, and we give thanks for your presence. We give thanks for your energy. We give thanks for your intention to be there for us. I'm giving thanks right here, right now, for all those persons. And for those persons who just sit in prayer, keeping the high watch, knowing the truth is that the divine is present, is expressing, and is center of all the healing that is taking place. So I give thanks and I release this word, letting go, knowing that God, the center of it all, is happening right here, right now. And I just give thanks in this release. And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
We have been fed this morning. We have been inspired with song, with words, with inspiration from Reverend James Jeffley. And as we have been inspired, we have been uplifted. I now offer an opportunity for you to express gratitude during this time we call Gracious Giving. There should be appearing on your screen information on how to support the efforts of our ministry at this time. You can text EASTBAY to 501-55 or go to our website, www.ebcrs.org, or simply assist those persons who are uniformed to deliver mail and mail it to us at 4130 Telegraph Avenue, Oakland, California, 94609. We give thanks for these gifts. We give thanks for the graciousness of each person, knowing that whatever you give, even if it's just the intention to give, it assists our ministries. It assists us with keeping the lights on, but it also assists us in being here to have food available on Wednesdays from 2:30 to 4. We give thanks for all the gracious giving. We give thanks for all that you give, for all that you offer. So it is.
Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now we have just a few announcements to make you aware of. We have food angels. These are men and women who assemble groceries for those in need. We'd like to give thanks for your attendance this morning at our service. We would also like to acknowledge those who have made this service so wonderful and great this morning. Giving thanks to our guest speaker, Reverend James Jeffley. Giving thanks to the wonderful music we've had from NuDay, featuring Lisa Bayless on vocals, Andrea Brimley, Regina Woods, and Vanessa Wynn, our musical director. Backed up by Angel MacArthur giving us the beat on drums, and Shazam harmonica. Thank you, thank you. To our AV team, Brett Richards, J.J. Harris, Derek Willis, and Arlene King. For those who held the high watch, our vigil practitioner, James Glenn. For the virtual prayer box, practitioner Ona Afray. And all of this coordinated by practitioner Al Gibson. We give thanks. And as we wind down our service, we just want to offer you blessings for a wonderful, rich, evolving, uplifting week. So it is.
It's time to make that change. People of the world, we are one flame. We are ups and downs. Let's stick together on common ground. What we need, a little bit of love. It comes from within, one mind, one love.
Take it from me, it's simple and plain. It ain't no game, you know what I'm saying. It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it. It's time to make a change. We are God's people, we can do it. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time.
We can do it if we try.
And the people say.